Hi, Mark and Eric. Thanks for sending your argumentative piece on reality television. Um, what I'll do is I'll go through my overall view on it, then some improvement points, and then a further note, and then after that, I'll actually go through step by step the review process, which is, I believe, the stage that you're at this moment. Okay, so overall, I was actually really quite impressed because it is a real improvement from the previous period. Because when you go through and read this piece, you can quickly see that the arguments are well chosen, and you have a really good structure. When I first read through it, I thought it was really clear, um, and the arguments flowed perfectly because you would put your statement, then you would move on to explain it. So yeah, a really good improvement. So you've done really well here. Um, Beyond that, what you do need to focus on now is about refinement and the review stage, because if you can produce this kind of work in the exam, that's excellent. To take it a step further, which is the stage I believe you're at, is to actually spend 1 or 2 minutes, if you have the time at the end, to actually improve it. So rephrasing, making sure that there aren't any minor errors, language mistakes, spelling, just simple spelling mistakes as well, and if possible, that you could explain it in a way that would be easier to the reader. Okay, so that is really important. So I believe that you're at the review stage, which is a really good spot to be. Okay, the structure is excellent. As I said before, arguments are well chosen and explained really well. What I mean by that is, just take for example, reality is a television programming genre that presents unscripted and humorous situations. It's worth being a contestant. Okay, so you've answered the question even without me reading what it is. It's worth being a contestant on a reality TV show because, one, a person can improve their life or that of a family member, and then the second reason is that you'd be able to experience things that um, people who aren't on reality TV shows won't experience in their normal everyday life. Okay, so those are very two distinct arguments, and they're both done really well. Okay, the fourth one was that you've had some really good expression. So one of my favourite ones in here was where you said a windfall of cash can always make a big difference. Okay, that's a really good word to use, and in this context, it was done really well. I don't really have many bad things to say because I was I was really impressed with the quality, especially the jump from the last time. Also, the words chosen are professional sounding and add balance to the piece. So words like nonetheless and however. Improvement points. Okay, these are sort of minor ones, but still good to take them on because they still will help you score greater marks in the exam. The first one, as I said before, was to do reviews in the last 1 to 2 minutes. In terms of doing your review in the easiest and quickest ways possible and in the most effective way, is the first part would be going through reading and fixing up things as you go. Okay, so there's sort of minor things that we're fixing up now. After you've read through it that first time, you do a second take. Because the first time you read through it, you'll pick up things that you won't have changed, and the second time will allow you to do sort of the major structural type changes. And I'll show you how we do that, okay, after we've gone through these points. The other point here for improvement, and as I said, the piece was done really well, so I'm looking keenly at what you can improve, is counter argument. I'll show you how I would have improved the counter argument, but mainly the counter argument I like to relate to sort of the previous argument so that it undermines those arguments, and then the reorientation when you address the counter argument. If it's a very strong counter argument, you will be able to reorientate back, and that would be even stronger, okay, than having a very weak counter argument. And finally, the conclusion, you could reword that a bit. Okay, so that's another improvement, but again, overall it is done quite well. So again, I'm nitpicking here. Okay, final point to note here is creative writing is almost always a definite examinable piece. Given this, it's most important to get on top of creative writing. So, and this is what I've noticed with this piece especially. It's really clear, it's really simple, but it flows just so well in that you've got your leading sentence, you've got your explanations, you've got your structure right. It's very hard not to say that there's something really wrong about it. Okay, so there's the point there is if you write simply, well, and clearly, and you've chosen arguments that are quite good, or you've chosen a storyline that is excellent. If you can write a simpler story well, and then compared to a complicated story that won't read so well, you'll definitely gain more marks for the simpler story. And in this case, because it is an exam, what you're wanting is to actually get the marks. Okay, so you choose the written piece that will get you the most marks. Okay, only in this instance because it's an exam. Sorry about that. Okay, let's go in and do the review. So reality is a television programming genre. See, this is actually me just correcting things as we go. And this is what you should be doing. This is me reading out aloud. You will do this in your head in the exam and you'll change things. Reality is a television programming genre. So reality TV is a television programming genre that presents unscripted and humorous situations. Humorous, so I got rid of the inverted commas, so and often humorous situations. Okay, so reality TV is a television programming genre that presents unscripted and often humorous situations for the benefit of viewers. It's worth being a contestant on a reality TV show because one may improve their life or that of a family member. The other reason is that one may have not been able to do things they couldn't otherwise. Okay, that's a key area there where I would change. I understand what this is saying, but I want to express it in a more simpler and easy way. The other reason is that, and we write it in a more positive way, the other reason is that a contestant is able to have experiences that they would not otherwise have. Okay, it's worth being a contestant on a reality TV show because so how would you improve your life? Financial rewards, because there are often many rewards that improve contestants' lives. The other reason is that a contestant is able to have experience events that they otherwise wouldn't. Okay. Firstly, it's worth being a contestant. Okay. Delete that. It is worth being a contestant because one may improve their life. Okay. There, because you've changed it up here, you can actually copy and, well, you can't copy and paste, but just in the exam, what you do is you cross it out and just write it on top. The other thing I forgot to say is that in the exam, try and write on every second line, because when it comes to your review time, you can actually just cross it off like this and then write on top in this section. Okay, and that would be your spare line there. Okay, firstly, it's worth being a contestant because one may improve their life. So we can delete that. It's worth being a contestant because there are often many rewards that improve contestants' lives. Okay, we don't need to write all that of a family member because contestants' lives are I guess having a family member who is on a reality TV show, if they win some money, obviously that benefits their family as well. Okay, so firstly, it's worth being a contestant because there are often many rewards that improve contestants' lives. Many game show contestants say that they have recently lost their jobs or usually describe some other financial hold that they would want to dispose of. This is really good. I like this section. Many game show contestants say that they have recently lost their jobs or have experienced a recent financial hardship. Okay, playing a game show doesn't guarantee. Can you see there? I'm just getting rid of spelling mistakes, and they're things that under exam pressure you actually make quite easily, but in your review you can fix it up quite easily too. Okay, playing a game show doesn't guarantee that they'll win millions. However, the odds are good that they'll walk away with something for their trouble. Okay, that's excellent. Secondly, being a contestant on a reality TV show is worth doing. Okay, you can get rid of the word so because people can experience a few opportunities that they might never have experienced in their life. Okay, because people can experience an opportunity that they may have never experienced in their life of a lifetime. For example, okay, very good language here because now we know that you're moving on to an example and you're explaining and supporting your claim. So for example, if one wins a substantial amount of money, contestant wins a substantial amount of money, they'll be able to do things that they had never thought of doing. Whether they would want to do something relaxing like taking a vacation or buying. Okay, in Australia we write holiday, or buying a sports car, or something meaningful like donating to a charity or paying for ongoing bills. A windfall of cash can always make a big difference. Okay, first things first, I think this section here, it seems like the rewards. Okay. Secondly, with the second argument, what I had envisaged it to be would be the experiences. So something like My Kitchen Rules, where you get a chef, you get to cook for a chef in your house. For some people, that is an experience of a lifetime. For what other things are there? Master Chef, being able to learn from the best chefs around. What other ones are there? Please marry my boy. Mothers who have sons that they can't marry off, and maybe for some mums that is a dream that they want to fulfill. So they're the experiences that I would be expecting for the second part of the argument. So that's a big part here that we need to fix up. We'll go back to that, okay? Let's keep going because we want to do take one. So those who believe that being a contestant on a reality TV show is bad would argue that reality TV tends to use a technique called manipulative editing. This is really good. Okay, this is showing why why a person doesn't want to be a contestant. Through the use of this technique, contestants develop gripping conflicts with opposing contestants due to arising issues on the show. Why is that a bad thing? That's the first thing I would ask. So those who believe that being a contestant is bad would argue that reality TV shows, okay, through the use of this technique, can develop gripping conflicts with opposing, okay. This part here we can take out. What is manipulative editing? Okay, we know that they do gripping conflicts, but what they do is they make the person out to what they are not. So just say with My Kitchen Rules, the Spice Girls, which were recently on, they were perceived as being very nasty girls, whereas in reality they may not be like that at all. Okay, so that's why you don't want to be a contestant, because obviously these girls attract a lot of criticism from other people, and whether or not they actually want that criticism, they have to deal with this criticism when they actually finish up on the reality TV show, because these people think they're generally just always nasty. Okay, so that was what the crux of that argument should be about. So let's fix that up now. So, those who believe that being a contestant on a reality TV show is bad would argue that reality TV show tends to use a technique called manipulative editing. Through the use of this technique, contestants may be perceived by viewers in a negative light. For example, a contestant might criticize another contestant and the camera may make it seem as if this person is always a critical being. We'll have to change that. I don't like that wording, but this is, I guess, part of the review stage. Okay, so that is really why people who don't want to be contestants onto reality TV shows don't want to. So, for example, a contestant might criticize another contestant, and the camera might make it seem this is often unfair to the contestant. Okay, and why is that not an issue? Okay, so although this problem may arise, the actions that are taken by contestants are real. There are no scripts, no second takes, little editor and little editing. There are no scripts, no second takes. Production companies do not force contestants to behave in a certain way, nor do they encourage negative viewer behavior. Okay, so now we're taking the onus away from the production companies. Therefore, it is an individual's the contestant's responsibility. overall, there are differences in opinion. Nonetheless, so although there are differences in, there are benefits and disadvantages in being a reality TV contestant. Nonetheless, I'll get rid of that. Although there are benefits and disadvantages, nonetheless, it is worth being a contestant because one may improve their life or that of the family members. Okay, because a contestant has the opportunity to gain a rewarding windfall and experience new opportunities, experiences which they have never had before. Okay, so let's review this through again. So reality TV is a television programming genre that presents unscripted and often humorous situations for the benefit of viewers. It is worth being a contestant on a reality TV show because there are often many rewards that improve contestants' lives, and secondly, a contestant is able to experience events that they otherwise wouldn't. Firstly, it's worth being a contestant because there are often many rewards that improve contestants' lives. Many game show contestants say that they have recently lost their jobs or have experienced a recent financial hardship. Playing a game show doesn't guarantee that they will win millions. However, the odds are good and they'll walk away with something for their trouble. Okay, that's fine as it is. I don't feel that you need to expand on that, and given that it is a short time period, I think that's appropriate. Secondly, being a contestant on a reality TV show is worth doing because people can experience an opportunity of a lifetime. For example, if a contestant wins a substantial amount of money, they'll be able to do things that they have never thought of doing. Okay, this is more a rewards type thing, which would have been really good in the previous paragraph, but given that you have already, the previous paragraph seems great as it is, in the exam what you could do is you could move this section up here and merge it somehow, and then you'll have a long paragraph. Or what you could do is you could cross it out and then add another section. Okay, that would link to this. So secondly, I'll show you how I would change this. So secondly, being a contestant on a reality TV show is worth doing because people can experience an opportunity of a lifetime. I really like this statement, so I would move it up here. Okay. I would get rid of this section here, but I'd keep for example. For example, so take the reality TV show, My Kitchen Rules. For example, take the reality TV show. Contestants who love cooking are able to receive critique and encouragement as well as learning. Critique and encouragement from renowned or from famous celebrity chefs. They are able to open their own restaurant. For food lovers, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. And without such a reality TV show, such dreams are often just dreams, not reality. Reality TV makes it real. Okay, so that's what you're talking about, and that would be enough for the second paragraph. And as I was writing that, and this is why it's a good thing to review, things will come into your head. The other thing is Australian Idol. That is a perfect, or even American Idol, that is a perfect example of contestants having the opportunity of a lifetime. Take someone like Guy Sebastian, who went into Australian Idol, did well with his singing, and that's where people recognised him, and he was able to build a career around singing. When you think about it, without the reality TV show like that, maybe no one would have known his wonderful singing voice, and same with some of the other people that have come out from it. Okay, so that would have been a perfect example for that, and a pretty strong example too. But at the end of the day, you've got the right way of, you've chosen a really good argument. It's just in terms of making sure that your examples support your argument and that they all link through perfectly. Okay. Finally, those who believe that being a contestant on a reality TV show is bad would argue okay, we have to make this shorter. Those opposed would argue that reality TV shows tends to use a technique called manipulative editing. Through the use of this technique, contestants may be perceived by viewers in a negative light, when in fact it is only an isolated incident of human nature. Okay? For example, a contestant might criticize another contestant, and the camera may make it seem as if this person is always critical. Make it seem as if this person is being nasty. This is often unfair to the contestant. Although this is often unfair to the contestant, who may receive negative backlash, okay, from viewers. Although this problem may arise, actions that are undertaken by contestants are real. There are no scripts, no second takes, full stop. And this is really good. No scripts, no second takes. This is a language that is really good for argumentative writing. Okay, production companies do not force contestants to behave in a certain way, nor do they encourage negative viewer behavior. Therefore, it is the contestant's responsibility, and they are aware of this going into a TV show. Okay, so this counter argument is saying, okay, well, I know that there may be manipulative editing. However, people already know this when they go into a TV show, so they have to be careful in how they behave. Okay, so, and if they behave in a certain way, they have already behaved like that. So no scripts, no second takes. So that's a really strong argument against it. Finally, although there are benefits and disadvantages, nonetheless, it is worth being a contestant, because a contestant has the opportunity to gain a rewarding windfall and experience things that they might have never, things they may never never be able to without reality TV. Okay, so that's the end of that. Can you see there, the review here, we've taken quite a while. However, in your exam, you'll have to do this really quickly, and even if you don't get the whole thing changed, you can still fix up little errors here and there, and those things there will get you more marks, okay? And it'll also help you rephrase a lot of things as well. Okay, so let's review this. Let's see how it looks like as a final. Reality TV is a television programming genre that presents unscripted and often humorous situations for the benefit of viewers. It's worth being a contestant on a reality TV show because there are often many rewards that improve contestants' lives, and secondly, a contestant is able to experience events that they otherwise wouldn't. Firstly, it's worth being a contestant because there are often many rewards that improve contestants' lives. Many game show contestants say that they have recently lost their jobs or have experienced financial hardship. See there, I'm still reviewing. Playing a game show doesn't guarantee that they'll win millions. However, the odds are good that they'll walk away with something for their trouble. A windfall of cash can always make a big difference. Secondly, being a contestant on a reality TV show is worth doing because people can experience an opportunity of a lifetime. For example, take the reality TV show My Kitchen Rules. Contestants who love cooking are able to receive critique and encouragement from famous celebrity chefs. They are able to open their own restaurant. For food lovers, this is the opportunity of a lifetime, and without such a reality TV show, such dreams are often just dreams. Reality TV makes it real. Okay, so you're saying that dreams are created through reality TV. Those opposed would argue that reality TV tends to use a technique called manipulative editing. Through the use of this technique, contestants may be perceived by viewers in a negative light when in fact it is only an isolated incident of human nature. For example, a contestant might criticize another contestant and the camera may make it seem as if this person is being nasty. This is often unfair to the contestant who may receive negative backlash. Although this problem may arise, actions that are taken by contestants are real. There are no scripts, no second takes. Production companies do not force contestants to behave in a certain way, nor do they encourage negative viewer behavior. Therefore, it is the contestants' responsibility, and they are aware of this going into a TV show. Although there are benefits and disadvantages, nonetheless it is worth being a contestant because a contestant has the opportunity to gain a rewarding windfall and experience things they may never be able to without reality TV. Okay, so that's the end of that. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to receiving your creative writing piece. So overall, just to recap, you have done really well in terms of choosing your arguments, structuring, and your clarity. Okay, so they're real substantial improvements, so that's something to be proud of. In terms of improvement going forward from now on, you're really looking at things like reviewing, okay, making sure that your language is all there, and also making sure that your supporting arguments are matching. Okay, so in the first argument that was perfect, the second argument related more to the first argument as opposed to the second argument. So that's an opportunity in your review stage where you can fix that up, and even fixing up something like that would add large amounts of points to your score tally, because you've not only have you fixed that up, you've also fixed up structuring, and you've made the piece overall a better written piece. Okay, so I guess it's a holistic type of thing. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Otherwise, I look forward to receiving your creative writing piece, and well done for this one.